Excellency this morning, only for her to tell me that she spent 10 years in Ghana. So she's my senior Ghana resident. And I have to go and consult her on how to take care of my culinary problems there. I have to eat the bamboos and all the other foods that I'm struggling to get used to. The issue of the book industry as relates to women, I've been on the front runner of the Pan-African Writers Association, because our duty is to coordinate all the writers associations on the African continent. And when I got into office last year, July, I observed that the women writers are more affected by the COVID-19 pandemic for many reasons. They are the housekeepers in some homes. They are the breadwinners, particularly in polygamous settings, where every woman is on his own, on her own. So we decided to put into operation a scheme whereby we supported women writers with some financial scheme, whereby in addition to the writing they were doing, they could earn some extra money to keep them going. And this scheme has been on for the last 1 year. It has gone to about 30 countries on the African continent. And this has allowed or encouraged women to write more. The other challenge which we are still trying to solve is that of language. As you know, the African continent, we have several languages, and our official languages in power are the colonial, so-called colonial languages: Portuguese, French, English, Arabic, and Swahili is indigenous. So we have 5 languages to cope with. And the problem is, how do we translate books? How do we ensure that books read and written in Morocco can be read in Gambia or in Nigeria, and vice versa? And this has been something that I'm still trying to cope with. We are lucky that we have a substantial number of women who are writing, and this, to me, it's one of the biggest achievements of the association, because out of the 45 country members, half of them are headed by women, and they are doing very well. The residency program, which I inaugurated about 10 years ago in my hometown in Sen, in Oyo State, I've known for 10 years. We've hosted more than 150 writers, and out of these 150 writers, 100 are women. And when I asked them, why do you need a residency program? And they would tell me that, look, women hardly have time to write when they are home. They are mothers, they are wives, they are teachers, they are everything. And when they come to the residency, they take it very seriously. So this is just to tell us that the role of the women are being favorably taken care of in the book industry. When the DG was trying to convince Eredu to be the giant or to be the spokesperson, I chuckled to myself, because Eredu has been in the forefront of pushing books, particularly among the wives of governors of this country. And the other time I spoke to her again, she was getting overworked. I think maybe I was disturbing her too much. But then there's a new book, I will push it to her and say, Residency, please, help us push it among the first ladies. I want to thank her for that, and we want to say that it's really tired. And so on this note, I thank you all, and we look forward to a very wonderful conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, the Secretary General of the African Pan-African Power African Writers Association based in Ghana. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, we want to also recognize some of our sponsors of this event. I'd like to call on the representative of Fidelity Bank. Are they here to give us a brief presentation? The representative of the event, members of the high table. I would like to start on existing protocol. So my name is Chiwike Okere, and I'm from Fidelity Bank. For us in Fidelity, we really believe in women. So the topic of this event really is quite apt for us. Fidelity we have really demonstrated in several ways, to show the fact that the bank really believes, in women and empowering women. And of course, Fidelity is one of the very few banks that has a woman as its managing director. In addition to that, the bank has a desk that is dedicated, manned, and focused on developing products and designing banking products that will meet the needs of women. So if you're a woman here and you're in business, right, and you want to take your business to the next level, I'll urge you to go to the stand, when you understand, just before the Fidelity stand, and you will meet our relationship managers. They will attend to you. But aside from that, I am from the SME team, and I would like to tell you some of the things the bank, some of the approach the bank uses to support SMEs. I'm sure that most of the businesses here, whether you are a publisher, whether you are a printer, whether you are a vendor, in fact, whether you are a school, to some extent you are an SME. So for us, we don't believe in just telling small businesses to come open accounts with us or come take loans. We take a different approach. The approach we take is to take your sector or your segment, understand the challenges you face, understand the kind of banking needs you will have, and in line with that, we can design products that suit your needs. So I'm sure that most of the businesses here are in the educational space, I guess. Yeah, that's correct, in the educational space. So we have a number of products for people in this area. We have a product we have designed for educational institutions, right? And for players in the entire educational institution value chain. Whether you are a printer, whether you're a vendor, whether you're an author, these products will speak to you. I may not be able to give you details here, but I urge and encourage you that once you go to the exhibition stands, try and identify the Fidelity stand, and you get to know more about our products. Then what we have also done, or what we do, is to design liability products. We call liability products type of accounts. There is an account we have in Fidelity that is highly competitive. I mean, it's unmatchable in the industry. It is called a Fidelity Small Business Account. Now, if you run this account, you don't need to pay any account maintenance. You don't need to, a lot of SMEs run from cost. You don't need to be charged any account maintenance fee, for running that account. So we're happy to be here, and I hope that at the end of the day we'll have a very fruitful conference. Thank you so much. Please, I want you to look at his face properly. He promised our women here that they can get loans, and their stand is there. So I want to urge most of our ladies here who have small SMEs, don't let him go. Let us hold him to their word. Let's hold Fidelity to their word, and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Well, it's time for us to now go straight into the meat of today's matter. Keynote paper presentation.
Our guests couldn't make it because of the COVID protocols and the COVID restrictions globally. So we got her conference paper virtually. So I think we are ready for her keynote address. I would just ask Excellencies to just turn their chairs a little bit to the left. We don't want to take you down so that we can hear and watch. Wait, can you just their chairs take it up? I don't have, excuse me, some help there, yes. You can bring
giant in women for the growth of the book ecosystem. I'm so happy to speak on this subject, not simply because I'm a female publisher. More importantly, it's because as a publisher, seeing a publishing conference of this size dedicated to the future potential of female publishers means that the publishing world has clearly listened to the message of change, which has resonated throughout the challenges of this pandemic. The message is clear. Times have changed. We reside in a new era within our industry where innovative ideas are key growth drivers and where the survival of the quickest rather than the biggest or the strongest takes precedence. Those who are quick to adapt, quick to understand market changes, and quick to implement innovative ideas that suit the new world and the new normal are the ones who will create significant growth in their businesses and become significant players in our field. And women leaders in the industry, similar to other minorities, are now the X factor of the publishing world. Bringing more women into decision-making means the discourse at the highest level is going to change. It means that new perspectives will be heard. And it means also that a fresh new publishing world will see the light of day. And that's what we call resilience. More than ever, the publishing industry is realizing the pivotal role women play in ensuring its resilience and long-term sustainability. Despite monumental challenges due to the pandemic, women have been instrumental in supporting the homeschooling of millions of children, making sure engaging content reached global readers during lockdown and quarantine, and providing free access to research in order to fast-track the healthcare response to COVID. It is perhaps fitting that the International Publishers Association welcomed its first all-female leadership team to guide its post-COVID resilience and sustainability efforts. My comments today are informed by my engagements with women in publishing globally, in my capacity as a publisher, as IPA president, and as a member of the executive committee of the IPA Africa Publishing Innovation Fund. They are also informed by my work as a founder of Publish Her, which acts as an industry-wide call to action aimed at addressing entrenched gender imbalances through partnerships and purposeful action. In these various roles, my discussions with women in publishing across the globe have uncovered common, deep-rooted obstacles to progress, such as gender bias, pay differentials, lack of mentors, and difficulties in balancing life and career choices. Whilst we try to address the challenges women face to diversity and inclusion in the industry, it's also important to look at the root causes and see how girls are faring in education systems around the world, to try and ensure they are designed to produce our future publishers, our future doctors and astronauts. It's an accepted fact that the fallout from this pandemic has been particularly damaging for girls and women. For example, in Africa, as schools had to shut down in response to the pandemic, 250 million students had to transition to remote learning. And as African educational publishers struggled to embrace digital transformation, a significant number of remote learners dropped out of school. A high percentage of those students are girls. In addition, socio-cultural factors such as early marriage and domestic work means that a disproportionate number of African girls are unlikely to return to school. So the challenge before us is clear to everyone, and the solution lies in cooperation and solidarity at a global level. It also lies in bringing more awareness to the underlying issues by giving women platforms to tell their stories and make their voices heard. To this end, Publish Her launched a series of virtual conversations with leading female publishers called Unmasked. They spoke about their journeys, their struggles, and they shared their stories. We also launched a mentorship scheme featuring accomplished publishing executives such as Bibi Bakari Yusuf and Tabiso Mahlape. This mentorship program is designed to share wisdom and success stories with young female publishers to help guide their career progression. We all recognize that change is a process. It takes time and unwavering willingness to create new realities. It also takes the right tools to enable that change. This is why Publish Her recently launched a first-of-its-kind diversity and inclusion diagnostic toolkit. This important toolkit provides flexible, practical resources for publishing firms of all sizes to identify challenges, develop action plans, and build buy-in for progress. Such a tool is crucial to create more awareness and provide guidance to publishers who are willing to heed the message of change. But as we all know, tools remain simply tools, if not accompanied by concrete and decisive action. To unleash the full potential of women in publishing or otherwise, we must address the root causes, such as book accessibility, and the broader issue of keeping girls in education. We must also support the upskilling of educational publishers so that they can digitally transform their businesses and adapt to remote learning. This is true to Africa, as it is true for many regions in the world. And IPA is here to support. We are currently working on forming the IPA Academy, the publishing industry's first global online academy for workforce skills development. We also want to contribute to solving the challenges of diversity and inclusion at a global level through the International Sustainable Publishing and Industry Resilience Charter, or INSPIRE Charter for short, which among many other subjects addresses the empowerment of underrepresented voices in the publishing industry. So there is a movement, there is action, and most importantly, we can definitely say that a change in mindset is taking shape clearly. And before I close, I'd like to commend my dear friend Badega Adidapo and his team for choosing Awakening the Giant in Women for the Growth of the Book Ecosystem as a theme for this iteration of the Nigeria International Book Fair. Supporting this shift towards more gender balance is not unusual in African culture. In fact, several African and Southeast Asian cultures share some form of the proverb, when sleeping women wake, mountains move. And based on my engagements with women publishers, educators, government officials, and students around the world, I can say with certainty that women have been and will continue to be at the forefront of developing the book ecosystem in Africa and across the world. Once again, thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts with you today, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you in person at the next iteration of the Nigeria International Book Fair.
Thank you very much. That was an address. Who is the current president of the International Publishers Association? They are situated in Geneva, Switzerland. That has set the tone for this year's conference theme, and that has set the tone for this year's conference discussion. But before we then do that, let us also give another of our co-sponsors a few minutes while we get our resource persons ready to come here and discuss the theme. The representative of the United Bank for Africa, are they here? Would they come in and quickly do their presentation? The representative of the United Bank for Africa. I see that they are not here at the moment. Okay. will have their presentation. We will take a question and answer session, discussions from the public. This has been the format that the NIBF has adopted over the last decade, and will continue that tradition. So it's our pleasure to ask Mrs. Polashade Anna Shinkaye, if she's here, to please come and take a seat, as well as Dr. Sophia Adeyeye, Mr. McDaniel Moses, Dr. Nola Akonde, and Mrs. Florence Adeshola Fanleye, who are resource people, to please come and take their seats forward, and we will kickstart this situation. They will give us their perspective, they will dissect it, and after that we'll have a question and answer session. For those of us who may have questions for them at some point in time, they will gladly give us the answers to the challenges that we may see when they discuss this topic in detail. We don't want to give them a time limit because it's a very germane topic in today's culture, but we know that we have about, about 30 minutes for this to be rounded up and, before we move on. So let me hand it over to you, sir.
The chairman of the Book Trust Association of Nigeria, all other protocols fully observed. We're here to discuss or expatiate rather on this topic, the giant of women, the book ecosystem. When we look at it deeply, we all understand that a woman, being a mother, is the first teacher in the life of every child. And being a mother or a teacher, even from birth, she starts training a child how to suck a breast. And when we encourage women in the era of book reading, definitely we will have a better society. And how do we do that? Publishers, printers, librarians, booksellers, politicians, well, we have to all come together and key into this vision. Create a kind of conducive environment. Make sure we make donations in order to encourage and stimulate reading culture among the populace. Especially encourage our young ones in the rural areas. How do we encourage them in the rural areas? We build libraries, public libraries in our local governments, public library in our state levels, though we have some libraries in the state level. Then all these people, the librarians, the publishers, the booksellers, and every other person in the book industry should support by donating valuable products, valuable books to the readers, to the children at those levels. When the children are access to this book, definitely they will read. And if we don't give them this encouragement, the reading culture already in our country is dying, and we need to reawaken. We need to stimulate it. We need to give it a brand, to rebrand it. We need to make it very, very possible and actual. When we encourage them, the local ones, the local level, either at primary or secondary, when you observe clearly or critically, you will understand that 70% or 80% of people in the urban area have the local environment. And when you look at the local environment, it's being forgotten. There are no good schools, there are no good conducive places for children to read. And those areas are the fundamental areas that we need to focus on them so as to encourage them for a better society. When we abandon the local environment or the local area, definitely we will not make a better future as a country. Those of us who are publishers, those of us who are booksellers, those of us who are office political holders, those of us who are businessmen and women in different trades, we should please support and encourage reawake reading culture in our society, especially from the grassroots. Thank you. My name is Moses Chika McDaniel. I'm the MD of Progressive Educational Services, and I'm the Vice President 1 of Nigerian Booksellers Association. I hail from Kaduna State. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Special recognition to the First Lady Ma of Ekiti State. I'm proudly Ekiti also. And I'm very excited that I'm in the same room with you. You mentor us, and I'm proud to say that wherever I go, I try to represent Ekiti very well. And you are always a point of reference in most conversations. Well done, man. I am Dr. Adeshola Falaye. I am a lawyer with PhD in commercial law. I am also a printer, the MD and CEO of Africa Printing and Publishing Company Limited. Please Google us to see what we do. And I stand here to represent the Chartered Institute of Professional Printers of Nigeria. Special recognition to Mr. Gbemi Malomo, the president of CIPON. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'll just quickly go through my presentation so that I don't talk too much. Awakening the giants in women for the growth of the book ecosystem. I would say that this topic speaks to me directly because I'm a product of the book ecosystem generally. And of course, we know that women usually, when you talk about book, the first thing that comes to mind is actually masculine, not necessarily feminine. But without repeating what Our Excellency and other people have said, we know that the narrative is changing. One of the support we got from the UN is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 5, that seeks to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls to further level the academic and professional playing field for women. And this has been after a history of exclusionary practices. We are getting there. The glass ceilings are being opened for women, not only to participate, but to make decisions. And so we're grateful for this topic again. I will talk from the perspective of the printers, because I'm a woman in the printing business. And printing is an integral part of the book ecosystem, because one of the processes of achieving physical books is through printing. And I must say that physical books are still more common in this part of the world than the e-books, the electronic books. And I want to believe it will remain so for a very long time because of our culture of video. We are not so tech yet, but we're getting there. It is no secret that the commercial printing industry has traditionally been a male-dominated field. For generations, printing companies have been dominated by men. I joined the printing industry by accident, and before then, my impression of printing was masculine. That was because women were mostly employed in secretarial or personnel departments of printing companies. In few instances, maybe marketers. And it was very rare to see a woman in the boardroom of a printing company. Times are changing, and we're getting more participation of women in the printing production chain. Women are now involved as owners, as MD, CEO like myself, as chief operating officers, company secretaries at the top level, and at the middle and low level as printers, as finishers, as marketers, as secretaries, HR personnel, and holders. So we have more women participation, but then there are still very few. Women participation in printing is still less than 10%. I stand to be quoted, to be corrected. Now, as a person, how did the book ecosystem affect me? When I joined the printing company, I joined as a legal and admin manager. And you know, one thing about printing is that it keeps dragging you in. Once you enter, you may not be able to leave. And that's why we need to mentor younger people to come in, so that they would know that it is more than the male world, that females would actually benefit more and contribute more to it. Anyway, growing through the rank, I am now the MD CEO of a very big printing company, a company to reckon with. In fact, we claim to be the best in quality in Nigeria, West Africa, arguably. The challenges for women in the printing industry, just like other male-dominated industries, have not been totally erased. But in my view, more opportunities are now more readily available for females in the field more than ever. There is still a lot to do to improve on the numbers, because the percentage difference is still much. Please know that the issues may not only be to attract, but to retain women who will add value to the printing profession. How do we achieve quality female participation in the printing as a part of the book ecosystem? Ownership by women is a way to make the industry more attractive to other women. Printing is a high capital intensive business, so partnership with men or fellow women should be explored, as this will likely encourage more women participation in the business chain. Mrs. Dr. Alakija owns a press, and the press is run by a woman as well, my friend, Mrs. Aki Adeshola. So that's one way women can participate. Another way to draw women into the industry is to make the printing industry a more female-friendly career path and encourage more young ladies to study printing in higher institutions, or create courses or master classes where ladies can study and develop interest in printing and ancillary professions. One active and proven way to attract women is adequate mentoring once women have joined a workplace. Face-to-face mentoring matters a lot, and so women will develop more interest when the older ones mentor the young ones. To achieve the above suggestions and encourage more participation and collaborations among women, I hereby strongly propose that we institute an association of women in printing body to organize and coordinate more participation of women in called printing. Mr. Malomo, please note. In conclusion, the role of women should not be a subject for debate, but as an adoption as a way of life. Thank you. I hope I made some sense. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Her Excellencies, the wives of the Ekiti State Governor and Lagos State Governor. Thank you for being role models for us. I would like to start off by reminding us where we are, awakening the giants in women for the growth of the book ecosystem. I would also like to quickly run through what we know up to this point, looking at the presentations that we have already had. We have been asked to encourage culture of reading, make books more readily available, parents to encourage reading of their children and words, encourage more online reading clubs, encouraging writing of creative writings, writing of essays, and organizing competitions at much younger years. We have been asked to encourage ourselves to belong to the digital space and bring the young ones along or try to catch up with them, as I would say. I often sometimes mention to my now young adult son that I bought you your first laptop, and he will say, "Mommy, that story," because now I need him to teach me many things. We need to define for ourselves the woman in whom we want to bring up to awaken within the book chain. The reader, the writer, the production executive, the designers, the publisher, the author, the printer, those within the distribution and logistics chain, the booksellers, the educational space in general, as well as the copyright protectors. I would like to also make reference to the inputs. Even I have talked about the inputs of Her Excellency. I would like to also make reference to the Pan-African Writers President, where women have been given more time to write because of the residency program and the financial scheme that has been provided. So in all of this, what I would like to do is to treat these few minutes I have as a project, for us to see this topic as a project. If it is a project, then we need to look at it in form of planning. How do we plan to execute this topic that we have? We'll look at implementation. How do we implement these various pieces of advice that we have been given? And how do we assess where we are when we have done so? I'd like to also say who I am, where I'm coming from. My name is Honorable Mrs. Shade Shekaye. I joined publishing as far back as 1984, and I have remained in the industry except for about 6 years, where I went to serve my birth state, Kogi State, as commissioner for local government and chieftaincy affairs, as well as for women affairs and social development. So what I would like us to look at is taking it from the lowest level. The lowest level for us will be the nursery kids. Looking at even the keynote address, the address from the MPA, IPA, International Publishers Association, how do we help these nursery children to be where we want them to be at a later stage? We have been advised that we can force down the book for a period of time. But at a point in time, it will no longer be possible to force these our young ones to read the physical book. So we have to, as publishers, recognize that part of our role will be to begin to develop materials even for these younger ones at their very lowest level. And when we think about a child, we say from 0 even even to 5 years, and then from 6 years of primary to the end of primary, junior secondary, and secondary. So the first takeaway will be we have to begin to actively develop digital products to support these young ones and make them culturally relevant for Africa and also in particular for Nigeria, for our young ones. Whereas at the both primary and secondary level, we must also, as publishers today, actively encourage reading clubs. I know we have done so maybe once or twice, but we have not made it as sustainable as we have made the Nigerian Book Fair Trust. So my challenge will be, the way I will challenge this organization is, let us develop good clubs, electronically, physically, that will stand the test of time and live after us. Because whatever we are doing now, our aim should be that we are leaving them behind for our younger ones. I was privileged to read the book by Tony Robbins, Awakening the Giant Within. So in this case, the giant within now is the giant within the woman. What do we do? From an early stage, I think we need to encourage our young ones to focus. To focus on a particular thing, and in this case, we are asking them to focus on publishing, to focus on an easy ecosystem to belong to. You will need to be hardworking, you will need to spend hours. The only advantage is that it is also possible to work online for many of the activities. So we again have to ask our employers to ensure that they give, whenever women are able to come physically, they are allowed to do their jobs or offline. I have already talked about the relationship mastery. I now want to talk about financial mastery. By financial mastery, we need financial support for our businesses. And that's where Fidelity Bank, UBA, and some of the banks that have supported us need to be encouraged. And I think they deserve a round of applause. Many reasons why women are unable to start their businesses is that they don't have the capital. And that discourages them. So what we need to key in to these opportunities that we now have and access the capital to be able to start our small businesses, SMEs. The world of the SMEs is not for the men alone. Let the giants in us come out, access the opportunities, talk to people, actively develop a network of support. Those are the things that I believe will help us to bring out the giants in us. Once again, I appreciate all the inputs that we have had. I want to encourage us that the future belongs to the women. For the publishing industry and the ecosystem, I think we will now have to, and I think our excellencies will endorse that, we will need to now have affirmative action. By affirmative action, we need to ask, as within the ecosystem, all the associations, publishers, booksellers, you need to give a certain percentage to women for employment. And within the banking industry, as you give out your loans, we want to ask that you ensure that a percentage in the affirmative action, it is 35%, am I right, ma'am? 85%, so qualified women, and that's why we talked about all the abilities that you need to have. This industry is an educational industry, so you cannot shy away from obtaining the maximum education it is possible for you to have, even to thrive within the industry. Thank you, and God bless you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Your Excellencies, special guest of honor, everyone. Okay, my name is Lola Kande, and I'll be speaking on behalf of the Association of Nigerian Authors, ANA. Speaking about the book ecosystem, the first thing we need to look at, in my view, is the ecosystem, the book ecosystem. What does it mean? What do we mean when we talk about the book ecosystem? By this, we mean the environment of books, from how the book comes into the world, the production of the book, the publishing of the book, how the book is distributed, how the book is read, how the book is discussed, and everything about book. So when we speak about the ecosystem, the book ecosystem, we are talking about everything concerning the book, from its birth to how it is read, how it is shared, how it is distributed, how it is published, how it is discussed, how it is received, and everything concerning books. Now, talking about women, how we can encourage women, or how we can awaken the giant in women, concerning the book ecosystem. The first thing we probably need to know, we all know, is that for a woman, you have to work more than the man in order for you to be recognized. One of the basic things about women is that it takes a very long time for a woman to be accepted, to be recognized. So, as a woman, probably nobody wants to take you seriously for anything you do, unless and until you prove that you deserve to be taken seriously. So if we are talking about how to awaken the giants in women in the book ecosystem, we'll be looking at the obstacles that women face. Therefore, as I speak on behalf of Anna, as I speak as an author, we'll be looking at, as a writer, as a female writer, are there obstacles that I encounter that male writers don't encounter? Do women writers face specific problems that male writers do not face? And if they do, how can we solve these problems? How can we remove these obstacles from female writers so that they can write more, if you like? Now, the current NLNG, the long list has shown that out of the 11 writers that have been longlisted, 7 of them are male writers, and only 4 are female. This shows that there is no parity. That is, not as many women as should happen are writing right now. That men, we have more male writers in Nigeria. That is what this suggests. This may not be true, but in terms of this recognition that these people are getting, it appears that men are leading. Now, before now, men have always taken the center stage in writing. We have had the likes of Chinua Achebe, Wole Soyinka, J.P. Clark, Christopher Okiko, and so on and so forth. We have also had women like Flora Nwapa, Uche Mecheta. But at that time also, we had more men than women. And Flora Nwapa has made a very serious effort at putting the female writer at the center stage. So when we look at our writings, for instance, we see that women always take the center stage. For instance, in our novel, The Fool, we find a situation where the character pays her own bride price. That is to show that women have arrived and women are no longer the work of their fathers. They are here to write, they are here to contribute, they are here to also make their mark in national development. So, it means that women can write, women can do everything that men do. So if we are looking at the obstacles that female writers face and how to encourage them or how to ensure that these obstacles are removed, the women themselves, the female writers themselves, are the ones to do so. And one of the first things to do is to realize that women can write, to believe that women are as intelligent as men. There's no scientific So females are as intelligent as their male counterparts, and they can write as well as men can write. Now, another thing we need to do, women need to do to realize, is that it is possible to do everything that a man does. Now, in writing, female writers are likely to face challenges about visibility. They are likely to face challenges about printing, having their works printed, having their works published. They are likely to face challenges about not being taken seriously. When manuscripts are submitted, probably some people want to look at the name of the writer, whether this is a male writer or this is a female writer, in deciding. But things are changing, and women are proving every day that they can do everything that women can do. Now, I believe in personal examples. Recently, I was invited by the BCOS in Ibadan on their Reading for Pleasure, and the general manager made a remark that I found very interesting. He told me that they were surprised that they found what he described as stream of consciousness in my novel, and that they had believed that only male writers could do this, that female writers do not have what it takes to, depict, believably, to show stream of consciousness. And by stream of consciousness, it means the ability to enter into the mind of the character, to show the reader what the character is thinking, and therefore to be able to understand why the character does what he does or what she does, and why, how, and why. So now you can imagine that kind of mindset. It means that essentially we still have the patriarchal mindset where men are believed to be the people who do some things and women are not able to do that. So for that man to say that, well, we were surprised to find that a female writer could do this. We were surprised to find that a book written by a woman can also be as interesting. I found that very, very, I don't know whether to say sad or whether to say funny or hilarious, but it speaks to women and it shows that women have a lot to do. And there's nothing other than to simply let people know through what they do and through the things they do, through the effort they make, by proving that they are able to do what others do. Now the media have they have a very big role to play. At that time, when my experience in Ibadan showed that all we need to do is to create the right audience, and then the book will catch up, the audience will catch up, people will read the book. So the newspapers, the radio, the television, they need to give visibility to the books and the writers, and to please not give this visibility only to male writers. The idea that a book that has been written by a woman should be ignored, should be discarded. Look at that book. Look at the merits of that book. And if this book deserves visibility, irrespective of whether this book has been written by a woman or by a man, please give it the needed visibility. So, for parents, we need to encourage our children to know that the female child is as intelligent as the male child. The female child can write, and all female children should have access to education, because that is where it is from. Once everybody is educated, they'll be able to take it up from there. They will know what they want to do, what they can do, and they will always find out. Thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, this very distinguished panel of resource persons. Please could we give them a round of applause, a loud one. Very briefly, they talked about the ownership of writing by women. They also talked about us being in a female-friendly environment, especially in the printing industry, how we can continue to encourage women to come over. They talked about expert mentoring. They spoke about the power of resources, the institution of power and the deployment of resources to women folk, and in a nutshell, more visibility by the women also. Now, It's very germane. The issues raised were very germane. We are going to come back and discuss them in detail in part 2 of this conference. Right now, most of our distinguished guests who we want to open the conference are leaving, but we want them to open the conference before we go on, before they leave. But let me also use the opportunity to welcome some of Nigeria's finest professors in our midst. Professor Abdul Rashid Naala, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Abuja. Welcome, sir. Thank you. Can you give me a round of applause? Thank you very much, sir. The former Vice Chancellor of the University of Calabar, Professor James Ekpoke. Are you here, sir? Can you give him a round of applause? Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for coming in. We also like to recognize Professor Tunde Odetunde, the Associate Professor of Mathematics, Olabisi Onabanjo University. Well, sir, thank you very much, sir. We'd like to recognize Timothy Oluchayo, Associate Professor of Statistics, Olabisi Onabanjo University. Thank you so much, sir. And Professor Adebayo Agunbiade, Professor of Statistics and Consultant to Rashman Publications Limited. Thank you very much, sir. We have come to the end of part 1 of our conference. We know that we have questions that have to be answered. We're going to have a break now where we'll use the opportunity to open the conference.
We're all here. We have a stand right there at the book fair, and you can get these books at Metro's Pharmacy, CSS Bookshop, Jazz Company, Glendora, and the Ebano supermarket, right? I thought I should mention that to you because we want to thank her for coming all the way from the United States. And so it's our duty to make sure that because she's also a lady and a lady of worth, these are books that have been written by her, and we are celebrating the Women Folk Day. So please find time to buy your copy at the book fair and at those shops mentioned. Thank you so much. Your word.
Thank you so much, sir. I am grateful for what you have done so far today. Just to make it very brief, I want to appreciate the Almighty God for the grace He has given to us to gather here today. This is the first time we are using this venue, and I am personally impressed with the turnout in this conference today. I want to thank Her Excellency, the First Lady of Ekiti State, for coming all the way from Ekiti State to be part of this conference today. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming. And I also want to thank our panel of discussants and all other high-table guests that we are seeing today. I want to appreciate you all for coming. I also want to thank my council members who are here today. Thank you for being with us. They have been around since yesterday. So we appreciate you for coming. I also want to thank the First Lady of Lagos State, who sent a very good representative to us. I want to appreciate her for doing that. That means that she's equally with us in this conference. I want to thank all the managing directors in the publishing firm, in the book industries all over Nigeria who are here. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Also, I want to thank all the press, men and women who are here today to give a good publicity to this event. And all the vice chancellors that we have in our midst. I think I can see the face of the vice chancellor of the University of Abuja and all others who are here. I want to appreciate you for coming, and I want to appreciate every other person that probably has not mentioned your name or your position. You are all very important to us at Nigerian Book Fair Trust. And as we are planning to open the book fair, the 28th Nigerian International Book Fair, I want to appeal to all that the conference has not ended. We are still coming for the second section, and I want to plead with you, please give us some time so that we round up the conference, so that every other thing that we still need to do, we do them together. Thank you so much for being here, and God bless you all.
I'm really interested. That's why
Just move on. Just step down, please.
the scissors.
It's in place already.
Okay. So there was a someone that knows the living. Okay, so I hereby declare the Nigeria International Book Fair 2021 open to the glory of God. I wish you all a successful conference. It's actually the latest. Yeah, okay, that's the second screen. So you get this, okay, that's great. So, what's the charge? Anybody that wants endorsement now, I'm checking that out. Not this one. Otherwise, you'll be at it all day.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Let me
Yes, yes, sir.
Vicky, do we have that? That's similar. Well, you have mentioned it now, so Vicky is head of sales, so we'll send your attention.
Okay, well done.
I'm here at live.
I read
Esse.
Vou te explicar só um pouco.
That is culturally relevant. I don't want to story about white insurance. Mr. Lola?
Ronke.
Just stay here.
Now that one day we disclose that it's out of print. Oh, you want to present? Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. These are antique books. Good afternoon, yes. Good afternoon, yes. We got one of them last week. At the event. Well done. Is it still coming? Well done. You have a couple. I do.
While we struck, that's the coup of 1960s, coup of thereabouts, and so many other things of progress.
Huh? Are you picking business now? Yes. I am. Sorry.
NBF.
That's right.
On behalf of the MD, we'll be giving you a quick. These are our new dictionaries.
Okay. Oh, wow. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I will think about you. I don't have a picture.
Thank you so much.